Thank you so much for your introduction and invitation. I'm happy to be today in the second international conference on science and sustainable development to do the Egyptian Knowledge Bank overview. I would like to thank you for the professional organization of the conference. And this is, of course, for all the NRC team who participated in this. Now we will start our presentation of the Egyptian Knowledge Bank as one of the presidential initiatives started in January 2016. طبعا برضو بشكل بسيط جدا باللغة العربية. بنك المعرفة المصري هو واحدة من المبادرات الرئاسية اللي بدأت في مصر في 2016 to support education, scientific research and the knowledge community and the community knowledge in general. The URL address of the Egyptian Knowledge Bank as a project is www.ekb.eg. EKB, of course, stands for Egyptian Knowledge Bank. If you want to search on google.com about the Bank المعرفة المصري or Egyptian Knowledge Bank or AKB, the first result you receive is akb.eg. بنك المعرفة المصري أو Egyptian Knowledge Bank is free for all Egyptians inside Egypt or the non-Egyptians or foreigners whom are affiliated to any scientific institution. We can also accept their registration through one of the proper official channels in their institution. We have 4 subportals in the Egyptian Knowledge Bank. The first one for the readers, and this is to enhance the knowledge of the community in general, offer them validated information or authenticated information, including a lot of ebooks in Arabic or English, including a lot of encyclopedias like Encyclopedia Britannica for all editions, or the Butterfly Encyclopedia from الدار اللبنانية. دي موسوعة الفراش طبعا باللغة العربية. And so many knowledge videos and text they can read on the readers subportal. And of course, anyone can register using the national ID, the basic personal information such as the email address and his name, interest, and few details. The second major subportal is the scientific research and higher education. The scientific research and higher education, it is the largest digital library. Anyone can use it in Egypt or I can say worldwide to receive what he needs free of charge. We are covering all disciplines. We are covering most of the highly cited materials from the peer-reviewed journals or the textbooks or the scientific ebooks, encyclopedias, and specialized resources in this subportal. And of course, anyone can register on the scientific research and higher education subportal, whether he is a student or a researcher, using his academic email address, or he can register from the IP address or the official internet connection of his institution, which is registered on the Egyptian Knowledge Bank servers, using any email address if he don't have the official email address. And my colleagues from the technical support, they are looking now to receive any questions or access issue or any problem on the chat of this online session. You can send your comment or question or request on the chat, and my colleagues, they will answer your request and solve your problem immediately. The third subportal is for the basic education, التعليم الأساسي أو التعليم ما قبل الجامعي. Of course, we have now a revolution in the basic education, starting from the curriculum, the new curriculum for the new educational system. to the modified system for the grade 10, 11, and 12. And all of this under the learning management system of the all public schools and private schools under the Egyptian Knowledge Bank. The last one is for the kids and how to have طفل مصري شغوف بالعلم والمعرفة. دي حاجة مهمة جدا. How to let our kids to use the smart devices on a knowledgeable platform. عندنا الحقيقة applications أو تطبيقات كتير قوي معرفية نقدر ان احنا نستخدمها عليها كتير جدا من قصص الأطفال باللغة العربية واللغة الإنجليزية. الستوريز الموجودة دي من الحاجات الشيقة الأطفال بيحبوها زي بارني وديزني وسنو وايت وحاجات كتيرة جدا من اللي بيحاولوا ان هم او بيحبوا ان هم يستخدموها. On the Egyptian Knowledge Bank, we have different type of resources. The general resources, anyone can use it, like the documentary resources, which include the official documents, map, agreements in Africa and Middle East from Cambridge Archive and Adam Matthew. They are one of the most famous documentary suppliers worldwide. We have encyclopedias, as I said, like Encyclopedia Britannica for all editions, plus Arabic Encyclopedia from الدار اللبنانية. It is Butterfly Encyclopedia أو موسوعة الفراشة. في كمان شركات media company. They believe in الميديا مش فقط للانترتينمنت ولكن كمان للإديوكيشن زي ديسكفري. كلنا عارفين ديسكفري تشانلز وناشونال جيوغرافيك تشانلز، هم عندهم شركات بتشتغل في الإديوكيشن، ديسكفري إديوكيشن وناشونال جيوغرافيك. عندنا عدد كبير جدا من الستيم إديوكيشن ماتيريالز اللي نقدر ان احنا نستخدمها سواء من الناشونال جيوغرافيك والديسكفري. فيها الاكسبلوريشن ماتيريالز او هيستوري الموجود عندهم from 1888 to present. الحقيقه طبعا very rich. عندنا تريننج بلاتفورم موجود على الاي كي بي. التريننج بلاتفورم الموجود اسمه انفوبيز. انفوبيز طبعا هو تريننج بلاتفورم عليه التريننج توتوريالز الخاصه بالديفرنت سوفت ويرز اللي احنا بنستخدمها على اللابتوب. طبعا نقدر منها ان احنا نتدرب ونبقى بروفيشنال في استخدام السوفت ويرز المختلفه زي الاس بي اس اس، زي الادوبي، زي المايكروسوفت، زي الاند نوت وغيرهم من السوفت ويرز المهمه جدا. يعني الريسيرشر او اليوزر محتاج ان هو يتعلم ان هو يستخدمها. في طبعا ابلكيشن لقصص الاطفال اسمها بوك اي، في كتب باللغه العربيه من العبيكان وغيرهم من الجنرال ريسورسز اللي المستخدم يقدر ان هو يستخدمها. We have also the specialized resources which can match the different special categories we have. We have the geofacets from Elsevier Engineering. It is one of the most famous and largest map resources, including more than 500,000 maps with all the bibliographic and full text details of each article, which is good for the people who are working in the geophysics, geology, and other disciplines. We have the largest clinical resource worldwide. It is Clinical Key, including about 600 clinical journals and more than 1,000 textbooks from the most famous ebooks. The people who are working in the health science can use it, plus the drug database from Gold Standard and millions of videos and graphs, which is useful for our scientific work and presentation. We have Anatomy Atlas, Ackland Video Atlas of Human Anatomy, produced by Walter Kluwer and prepared by Professor Robert Ackland, one of the famous anatomy instructors or teachers or professors in the US. We have different resources in the mathematics from Springer Nature, the ZB Math database, one of the famous bibliographic database in the mathematics. We have agriculture database from CABI, Center for Agriculture and Bioscience International. We have the INSESSION database. It is one of the major tools in the medical education, accredited by the Royal College of Surgeons, including a lot of courses which can support the beginners to be ready to go to any operation inside any hospital. We have the drug database from Springer Nature called the AIDS Insights, Reaxis database for the chemists, and the last one is the Nano database from Springer Nature, and of course so many other specialized resources. The users can use it anytime in the Egyptian Knowledge Bank. I know that you are interested with the full text resources. The full text resources we have from the major publishers such as Elsevier. Elsevier, the largest publisher worldwide. They are producing about 25% from the scientific production. And we have under the Elsevier Science Collections, the Science Direct Freedom Collection, the largest collection they have under this platform for the journals, and some ebooks covering some disciplines. We have Springer Nature, the second largest international publisher. We are covering everything from Springer Nature, published in English from 1840 to present, more than 2,700 journals and more than 250,000 ebooks, including some textbooks. The third international publisher is Wiley, and we are covering the largest collection. They have from 1975 to present, plus the scientific ebooks, about 18,000 scientific ebooks from Wiley. We have, of course, general journals like the New England Journal of Medicine, agreement with Institution of Engineering and Technology, IET or IEEE from the US, agreements with the Royal Society of Chemistry, including the journals, conferences, ebooks, and one of their databases called the Marine-led database, which include the materials and publications about the sea products and materials. We have agreements with the IOP Institute of Physics, sorry for that, Institute of Physics, SAGE, one of the most famous social science publishers, Emerald. They are very famous on the management, administration, and marketing publications. And of course, we have other publications in Arabic language from Dar al-Mandouma and Al-Ubaykan. And one of our unique resources for the digital dissertation and thesis from BrookQuest is BrookQuest Digital Dissertation and Thesis for the full text dissertation and thesis in all disciplines. Of course, it is the most rich full text library, paid library from the country to you to use it free of charge and download all your needs within the fair use policy of the Egyptian Knowledge Bank and the publishers. On the other side is the AKB citation and bibliographic resources. The most famous citation and bibliographic resources on the AKB is Scopus database and the Web of Science. It is the first step of any researcher to have the references and control the quality of the inputs for their research. And it is very important also to make sure that the researcher covered the highly cited and peer-reviewed resources in his project in a very comprehensive way. Beside the resources we are covering on the Egyptian Knowledge Bank, we are offering tools and softwares. Any researcher in his project or to publish any article, of course, the researcher need to have a reference manager. We have the two famous reference managers, the Mendeley and the EndNote in institutional editions. Very easy to use, and we will do in collaboration with the National Research Center special sessions for that. We have the plagiarism software, the Authenticate, and we have admin in each institution who is responsible for that. We are offering on the homepage or on the main page of the Egyptian Knowledge Bank the editing service from the INAGO, one of the most famous houses for this. You can go to the Egyptian Knowledge Bank homepage, find the banner of the INAGO, and then go for more information, and then you will be able to learn more about this service terms and conditions to submit your article for this reach service. And we have other research performance tools for the decision makers, such as the Cival and the Insights tools on the Egyptian Knowledge Bank. الحقيقه الواحد بيبقى فخور جدا برضه وهو بيتكلم على publishing system لل Egyptian Knowledge Bank. We have publishing system for the journals and conferences, and so far we have about 720 journals published gold open access from our local journals under the Egyptian Knowledge Bank publishing system. It is all gold open access, and we have about 65 conferences under this platform, and we are happy to create the first largest database for the scientific output, the Egyptian scientific output, and to make it available internationally. Besides the orientation workshops we are doing a lot of specialized workshops related to the essential leadership programs, related to the university ranking, to the publishing, even for the young researchers, how to write article, how to do a professional presentation, how to have the ORCID ID number and why it is useful for you. We are offering a lot of specialized resources during the year to all of our users and researchers. الحقيقة أنا كمان حابب أتكلم على إن إحنا كل ده بنوفره طبعا التعليم الأساسي في إطار ال Egyptian Knowledge Bank Learning Management System, and now we are in our final steps with the higher education, with the Supreme Council of Universities. Inshallah, hopefully, we will have agreement related to the AKB Learning Management System for all the public universities, بس طبعا لسه في الخطوات النهائية للحصول على الموافقات الخاصة بذلك. من الحاجات المهمة اللي أنا حابب إن أنا أنوه عليها النهاردة وإن حضراتكم تتفاعلوا معاها بشكل كبير the AKB Events page أو صفحة الفعاليات الخاصة بالإيجيبشن نوليدج بانك. دي واحدة من الحاجات المهمة جدا اللي أنا بدعو لحضراتكم إن أنتوا تتفاعلوا معاها على البورتال الرئيسي تحت www.ekb.eg. في صفحة اسمها Events أو فعاليات، دي إحنا بننظم عليها أونلاين سيشنز كل يوم، تقريبا من حوالي 7 ل 9 سيشنز كل يوم from our partners in the Egyptian Knowledge Bank, different partners, different topics every day. أي حد يقدر إن هو يعمل ريجستريشن ويحضر معانا، وطبعا معظم السيشنز دي بيبقى ليها شهادات للحضور من الانترناشونال بابلشرز اللي احنا بنشتغل معاهم او من الاي كي بي. فانا بدعو حضراتكم ان انتم تشاركونا على الصفحه دي، تلاقوا فيها حاجات جنرال عن البابلشرز او عن الاي كي بي، وهتلاقوا فيها حاجات بروفيشنال زي الاوثر ورك شوبس وغيرها من السيشنز اللي بتبقى مفيده لحضراتكم في البابلشنج او النشر العلمي. الحقيقه دي مهمه، وبدعو حضراتكم ان انتم تستخدموها يعني قدر المستطاع الفتره اللي جايه. اخر بروجكت بنك المعرفه المصري اشتغل فيه احب ان انا اعلن عنه. طبعا في بروجكتس ثانيه احنا شغالين فيها دلوقتي وهنعلن عنها قريب، لكن اخر بروجكت احنا شغالين فيه دلوقتي الحمد لله هو ريليز متعلق بالسكرين شوت اللي حضراتكم شايفينها قدامكم دي بحث بالروسي مهم بالنسبه لنا، منشور دوليا، بس احنا مش عارفين نقراه. ليه مش عارفين نقراه؟ عشان في باريرز مختلفه، غير ان هو يبقى موجود جولد اوبن اكسس بفلوس او ببلاش. الحاجات دي كلها كويسه، لكن اللغه واحد من الباريرز الصعبه جدا اللي احنا برضو بنعاني منها لما نيجي ننشر البحث ده اللي انتم شايفينه في النكست سكرين اللي موجود بيه اللغه العربيه. الحاجات اللي احنا بننشرها باللغه العربيه للاسف ما بتوصلش برضو للدول اللي فيها ناطقين بغير اللغه العربيه. عشان كده الامباكت بتاعها في التخصصات الموضوعيه قليل جدا. واحنا طبعا بننشر كتير جدا باللغه العربيه في الكليات النظريه او في جامعه الازهر او في بعض الكليات العمليه اللي بتنشر بعض الابحاث باللغه العربيه. عشان كده بنك المعرفه المصري عمل واحد من اكبر البروجكتس اللي ممكن يعملها مع شركه كلاريفيت اناليتكس to start او to establish the Arabic Citation Index to be one of the regional indexes under the Web of Science. وطبعا احنا كلنا عارفين الويب اوف ساينس القيمه بتاعتها ايه. Any journal indexed under the Web of Science core collection for 2 years will have ان شاء الله impact factor او it will appear at least in the journal citation report which reflect the impact of this journal in its speciality. فاحنا دلوقتي الحمد لله عندنا الارابيك سايتيشن اندكس زي الراشن سايتيشن اندكس، التشاينيز سايتيشن اندكس، السيلو سايتيشن اندكس تحت الويب اوف ساينس. واي حد بيدخل على الويب اوف ساينس من اكثر من 9000 انستتيوشنز موجودين حوالين العالم anyone can search in Arabic or English worldwide can reach our scientific output او production باللغه العربيه او in the Arabic language because we are indexing all articles, all the bibliographic informations of the articles in 2 languages, the Arabic language and English language. وطبعا اي حد can use the URL you can see on the right hand side of the screen archive.akb.eg علشان يقدم او يعمل سبمشن للجورنال بتاعته اللي هو بينشرها باللغه العربيه to be indexed under the Web of Science under the Arabic Citation Index within الكرايتيريا الخاصه بذلك. وطبعا ده كله بيبقى announced وموجود على الصفحه دي. اخر حاجه الحقيقه احب ان انا اقولها ان احنا we are now supporting the Ministry of Education and Technical Education in Egypt with the most famous publishers to develop the curriculums of the ministry for different grades in collaboration مع مركز تطوير المناهج في وزارة التربية والتعليم و within the international standards. يعني احنا بنماتش الانترناشونال ستاندردز لكن في نفس الوقت بنراعي الليرنينج اوتكمز المصريه مع different publishers and partners سواء كانوا international او national partners بيشتغلوا معانا في المشروع العملاق ده. وان شاء الله يعني احنا بنتمنى انه الفتره الزمنيه القادمه تحسن التصنيف الخاص بالتعليم في المدارس المصريه، وفي نفس الوقت نحس ان احنا عندنا جيل مهتم بالساينس اند تكنولوجي عنده وعي كبير جدا للعلم ويقدر ان هو يساعد في الابتكار الفتره اللي جايه، مهتم بفهم المعلومه اكتر من حفظها. دي من الحاجات الاساسيه اللي احنا بنركز عليها في كل الليرنينج اوبجكتس اللي بتتعمل تحت البورتال الخاص بالوزاره بالشراكه مع بنك المعرفه المصري. اخر حاجه الحقيقه طبعا احب اشكر حضراتكم. Thank you so much for your invitation and for all the support you are doing during the conference. انا بدعو كل المشاركين اللي عندهم اسئله يقدروا ان هم يبعتوها على الشات دلوقتي، وبرضو بدعوهم ان هم اي مشكله في المستقبل يقدروا ان هم يبعتوها على support@akb.eg. الايميل ادريس ده من الايميل ادريسز اللي احنا عندنا فريق كامل دلوقتي بيشتغل عليه. بنحاول ان احنا نجاوب على الاسئله ونحل المشاكل في فتره زمنيه قليله، وان شاء الله نكون عند حسن ظن حضراتكم. شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mahmoud Dawood, Marketing and Training Coordinator of the Egyptian Knowledge Bank. Thank you very much for being part of our event, the second National Research Center International Conference on Science and Sustainable Development. Thank you for being our guest for this afternoon in the second plenary session for today. Thank you for very informative presentation regarding the EKB platform. Actually, the Egyptian Knowledge Bank and the National Research Center have been collaborating together to help Egyptian researchers improve their research output. All the tools available on the EKB platform, I wish personally that every Egyptian researcher has access to it, because it would help him all through his career, whatever his career level is. We can always learn something new. Thank you very much for the overall collaboration with the National Research Center, and very especially the conference unit of the National Research Center. I have been honored and pleased to organize a series of webinars, not only with the Egyptian Knowledge Bank, but also with a number of publishers through the Egyptian Knowledge Bank and under that collaboration between us. So thank you very much again for helping the Egyptian researchers put their steps one step after another to improve all the research output for the Egyptian researcher, and for helping sticking to the SDGs, as we have been trying to explain in a previous plenary session with Elsevier. Thank you very much for being our guest today, Mr. Mahmoud. And I would like to remind our audience that we have been broadcasting this very interesting lecture all through the social media, our Facebook page, our YouTube channel at the conference unit of the National Research Center. I would like any researcher at the National Research Center to watch this session, and if any help is needed for your EKB account, support team from EKB is available now at the National Research Center, Hall G, if you would like to come and ask for any inquiries you have. And whoever have not attended this session, I would strongly recommend them to watch this session again, and to keep in contact with the conference unit and with the EKB support team. Thank you very much for being part of our day. And I would recommend that we go back to the agenda for today and go for the next live session. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Welcome back, dear audience. Our next speaker will be Dr. Ayman Al-Qail. Dr. Ayman is the head of MENA Professional Services in Research and Education at Education University, Ranking and Research Management, Assessment and Clarivate Analytics, with more than 12 years of experience in planning engaging solutions and tailored strategic plans for institutions and universities, supporting decision makers in research institutes in performing SWOT and SWOT analysis in terms of research and education. As a researcher working closely with R&D departments in industrial companies to offer knowledge-based solutions. Being a researcher, having a notable experience in quantum optics and sophisticated laser systems, studying ultra-fast dynamics down to attosecond resolutions, building multi-layers, XUV mirrors, using solid states, spectroscopic methods, Muon spine rotation, measurements, published many articles in journals of high reputation, and delivering workshops for researchers and scientists. Let us welcome Dr. Ayman.
Hi, Dr. Aya. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. I am honored to be with you, actually.
Thank you, Dr. Ayman, and we honor to be one of our dear guests and speakers in our conference.
Thanks a lot. Let me first share my screen. I hope you can see my screen. You can hear my voice well?
Yes, everything is well, Dr. Ayman.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Dr. Ayman, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And I believe that the theme of the conference you are handling is really super important and is very relevant to, I would say, the very future trends of the research globally and regionally as well. So today in my brief talk, I will be covering whatever research done on sustainability, a couple of sustainability topics in Egypt for the past 10 years. It's extremely important that we capture the trends and to see where you are heading from this perspective. We are doing a breakdown by institutions and university to see who is doing what exactly, but we are not doing a breakdown of the sustainability topics because, of course, for the sustainability, it could be environmental, it could be the green, I would say, technology, something like this. But now, for the time's sake, we kept it only overall on sustainability, but I am happy to comment afterwards if we have questions or even a future session or so. So Dr. I presented me, so basically I'm heading the professional services team in the MENA region in Clarivate Analytics. I used to be myself a researcher at Max Planck Institute, and to be honest, also during my research period, we did some work on optimizing electric signals in, it was gallium arsenide semiconductors, try to basically to monitor the electric signal versus some oxygen vacancies. It was a project done also in collaboration with PSI, Paul Scherrer Institute in Switzerland. And I was honored to be part of it as well. Nowadays, of course, I'm involved in more like consultancy services, assisting universities and research centers in performing, I would say, more impactful and better research, and also assessing universities in planning their ranking as well. I will just really briefly talk about Clarivate. Overall, we believe that innovators nowadays are facing major challenges. With challenges, of course, comes the opportunities. To name some, we know that data is growing in volume and complexity. This actually brought about the question of impact and equality in research, because now it's very relevant, as a lot of people are producing a lot of research, and man should be able actually to find his or her way through the tons of literature being produced annually. And trying to capture the quality research and the impact research is an ever-demanding actually task, which is asked, I mean, by the research community all the time. The second point is globalization and regionalization. Before we can see that universities are being put in a national platform, Nowadays, you can imagine a university, let's say in Al-Azhar, is benchmarked against a university in India, or in the States, or in Germany, or in Europe overall. So those ranking systems has put all the universities on the same platform. And of course, doing more with less. This is, you know that to get now, if you monitor the success rates of grant proposals with major ranking systems, you will find that it's really getting lower and lower. It's really very and super competitive nowadays to secure a granting proposal. This is basically a challenge which we need to tackle. Of course, to name that out of doing more with less, the theme of the conference itself is super important when you talk about sustainability. Now, ranking systems are trying to measure universities across performance related to SDGs and sustainability overall, because this is important for our future, and this is basically the one way to go if we want to save the life in the planet as well. So all the time, when you talk innovation, it goes really beyond research. It's somehow the cross-section and the intersection, to be specific, between the discovery, the protection of this discovery basically by IP, intellectual properties, and by the commercialization of the findings to go to the market. This is the idea behind the Science Park. And this is the idea which started in the mid 20th century in the Silicon Valley with Stanford, Science Park. And we believe it's picking up in the region, in Egypt as well. And this will hold a lot of opportunities to build the economy-based, the knowledge-based economy. So our partners go to the pharmaceutical, to large global law firms, and other leading institutions and universities worldwide. The data of Clarivate analysis dates back to 1864 until now. Of course, until now we have people calling us Thomson Reuters, although starting from the end of 2016, Clarivate is a standalone company. It emerged from the IP and science business of Thomson Reuters with the same product, which is Web of Science, of course. So basically, one theme of my talk is sustainability research, Egypt overview, just to see what we are doing there actually. So we've used a lot of indicators in this overview. Some of them, they are really capturing the volume of citations or volume of documents. Some of them, they are capturing the impact, especially category normalized citation impact, which I really want you to follow up with me on that. This is a global impact, research impact indicator. You have the universal average is 1, and you have whatever is above 1, it means that you are overperforming the world average. This is average and normalized globally. And of course, you have the quartiles and top 10%. Now, we are just looking at the word research in sustainability overall for the past 10 years. The trend is upward. This theme is picking up. So the advance is more than 250% for the past 10 years. This is really amazing. And you cannot see such trend a lot with other themes in research. So this would mean basically only one outcome, that sustainability research is becoming more and more common within the research community. This is an important topic. Everyone wants to touch on it. Now, let's monitor Egypt and the MENA region. So the MENA is the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey. In the green line, this is the MENA starting from 2011 to 2020. We can see that the MENA region made a progress of 700% for the past 10 years. This is also amazing. Now coming to Egypt, for the past 10 years, Egypt made more than 1,100% achievement. This is stunning. It means that overall the sustainability research in Egypt is picking up as well, and it's outperforming that of the MENA. Now going to major MENA countries, actually top 5 MENA countries for the past 10 years. Turkey, followed by Iran, followed by KSA, Saudi, and Egypt, and UAE. You can see that the progress in Turkey is 320%. In Iran is more than 800%. In Saudi, 1,500, followed by Egypt, 1,100. So it means that overall, For the MENA countries, it's really picking up and the progress is amazing. We can have a wider look. We can look at the top 10 MENA countries for the past 5 years only. You can see that the progress is there all the way. Egypt is having the second largest progress for the past 10 years after Qatar. So after Iraq and Qatar. But if you look at Iraq, the number of publications is really very small. I would say for Qatar is also relatively small. For Egypt, you are talking about in 2020, it's 1,200, relatively big. So out of the top, I would say 5, even 6, 7, 8, out of the top 8 countries in the MENA, the acceleration of sustainability research productivity is the best in Egypt. You can put it like this. Now let's look at the impact now. In the impact, we've looked before at the output, now at the impact. If you look at the impact, you can see that those are the top 10%. It means that within its research area, top 10 by citations, they are most on impact. We are talking about top 10%. In the MENA, the progress in the top 10% was 1,250. In Egypt, it's 2,000%, more than this. So it's really staggering and astonishing advance and the progress in the impact of the research on sustainability. We can monitor this also overall in top 5 countries in the MENA. You can see that Egypt is achieving 2,000%. You can see sustainability in certain research areas. Top 10 MENA countries for the past 5 years, you can see out of the top 5, 6, 7, 8, out of the top 8, again, Egypt is leading. So out of the top 10, top 8 countries, Egypt is leading actually in terms of impactful research in sustainability looked at from the angle of top 10% indicator. Along the top 10, Qatar is leading, followed by Egypt. But of course, Egypt productivity is much higher here. Now, we look at the category normalized citation impact for the past 10 years. So here you can see that this is MENA in the green line and the blue line is Egypt. It's amazing that all the way, both of them, so the MENA and Egypt are above 1, above the global average. And this is really something positive. Overall, Egypt achieved 36.8% progress on the impact CNCI. We can put Egypt benchmarked across the other in the countries, in the top 5 MENA countries. You can see that UAE is leading, followed by this is KSA, and then we have Egypt. So somehow in the middle, but let's say in 2018, 3.15, we are seeing that an increase in the impact overall in the MENA countries. Overall, if you see CNCI, which is really bigger than 1, this is a positive trend. Now, going to the top 10 countries together with their CNCI, you can see Egypt CNCI is 1.79. It's along the top 5, it's number 3. Outperformed by UAE and KSA, but Egypt is outperforming Iran and Turkey with a total number of sustainability research of around 4,300 publications, which is really great. You can see that all the publications on sustainability is above 1, their CNCI. This is really a positive thing. Now, the quartile distribution for Egypt research, you can see that in 2020, around 40% of Egypt publications on sustainability are in Q1. In 2011, the percentage was 30%. So it's mostly picking up here, I would say, which is really a positive indicator, I would say. Now, you can see at breakdown by universities, you can see that the country institutions, the top producing sustainability research is Cairo University, followed by National Research Center, NRC, followed by Ain Shams. Now, all the CNCIs are above 1, which is really a positive trend, I would say. Now, going to quartile distribution, In Cairo University, 37.28% are Q1 of their sustainability productivity. While in National Research Center, you have 31.27 of the publications are Q1. In Ain Shams, around 42%. You can also monitor the other values here. Now, documents in top 10%, so volume and percentage from productivity. For Cairo University, 19% of their publications are in top 10%. For Mansoura, you have 26.16% are in top 10%. You can see the NRC, 17.26% of their publications are in Q1, which is really a positive thing as well. Now, those are the entities and the number of documents where you have the corresponding authors are from the entity. It means that we are not like this one, we are capturing all the research on sustainability. While here, we are only capturing the research from sustainability. Of course, here, all the research in the top 10%. Here, all the research, but of research articles where we have the corresponding author from, let's say, Cairo, or from NRC, or from Alexandria Ain Shams. We have one of the highest percentage in Egypt is NRC, in addition to American University of Cairo. Both, they have around 57% of their publications on sustainability. They have the corresponding author from their entities. It means AUC or NRC. While in Cairo, only 40%, in Alexandria, 41%, which is really great as well. Okay, this is really an indication that the research on sustainability done within NRC is 57%. Really, the corresponding and the leading author is coming from NRC. It's not like a part of a collaboration where NRC is not contributing that much. This is what I wanted to cover today. I hope this gave you somehow a good idea about the research, sustainability research trends in Egypt and the MENA. I believe Egypt is on the right track and the progress is there, the impact is there. And I hope that you've got some value out of it. And if you have any kind of questions or comments, I'm really happy to listen. I can also respond in Arabic, by the way. Thank you. Dr. Aya? Yes, Dr. Aya, somehow I cannot hear you. Maybe you are still on mute. Dr. Aya, I cannot hear you well.
Dr.
Yes,
Ayman?
now I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ayman, for your eminent presentation and very informative, as every presentation you offers to us here at Conference Unit, and give us a very good feedback about Egypt and research statistics all over Egypt and the universities. Thank you once again, and we hope that we meet in another presentations soon at Conference Unit.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Aya, and thank you for arranging this nice and amazing, actually, and beneficial conference. And congrats on the results overall for Egypt and NRC, actually, because we can see that NRC is producing on sustainability and the impact is there. And also, most importantly, we have a lot of, around 57% of your publication on sustainability have their corresponding author from NRC. This is a healthy situation, and I wish you all the best on this and other topics. Thank you, Dr. Aya, for this invitation. I'm honored.
تم اكتشاف مقبرة يويا وزوجته تويا بوادي الملوك بالبر الغربي بالأقصر عام 1905، أي ما يقرب من 17 عاماً قبل اكتشاف مقبرة الفرعون الذهبي توت عنخ آمون. ويويا وتويا هما أبوي الملكة زوجة الفرعون أمنحتب الثالث والد الملك إخناتون. تعد هذه المقبرة من أجمل المقابر التي اكتشفت لما ضمته من كنوز فريدة، مثل العجلة المذهبة ليويا والأثاث الرائع الذي يتمثل في الأسرة والكراسي والصناديق المصنوعة من الخشب المذهب والمطعم بالفايونس والعاج والأبانوس، بالإضافة إلى أواني من الألابستر والحجر الملون. وقد عثر داخل المقبرة على مومياء كل من يويا وتويا في حالة جيدة جدا من الحفظ نظرا لاستخدام جودة عالية في التحنيط، كما عثر أيضا على التوابيت الداخلية والخارجية لهما، وكذلك على الأقنعة الجنائزية الخاصة بهما المصنوعة من الكرتوناج المذهب والمطعم بالزجاج الملون والأحجار النفيسة، وهي أقنعة فائقة الجمال. كما تم العثور على الصناديق وأواني الأحشاء وتماثيل الأوشابتي. وليس ذلك فقط، بل احتوت المقبرة على أطول بردية معروضة في مصر، وهي البردية الخاصة بيويا والمدونة بكتاب الموتى، والتي تتميز بألوانها الرائعة ويصل طولها إلى حوالي 20 متر، وذلك بعد إعادة تجميعها لأول مرة خلال الأشهر الماضية بمعرفة المرممين المصريين من أبناء المتحف. إن تصميم العرض المتحفي الجديد لكنوز يويا وتويا الذي ترونه اليوم وجميع أعمال الصيانة والترميم للقطع الأثرية لإظهارها بالشكل الذي يليق بجمالها قام به الأثريون والمرممون من أبناء المتحف المصري بالتحرير بمساعدة نخبة من علماء الآثار المصريين المخلصين، ليثبتوا أن المتحف المصري بالتحرير قادر من خلال كنوزه المحفوظة به منذ عقود طويلة على الاستمرار في إبهار زائريه ومحبيه.